What's going on, everyone? I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics, and in today's video, we have our first CGC JSA authentication submission. Before we get to that, though, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and consider supporting the channel for $1.99 by clicking the join button below. Okay, we have a couple of books, and I wanted to talk about the overall cost of the submission. Now, I was debating on what books to send to CGC, and I was debating between the signature authentication, which is what I chose, some Silver Age books, some modern books, all of that. And I'm going to talk about why I chose these books. So I'm just going to show off the books first, and then I'm going to talk about cost and why I chose them. So the first book up, this is a book I got signed, I think, in 2018 or 2019. And this is before I really even knew anything about grading or anything. And this is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Issue 0, the second printing, signed by Jason David Frank, who played the Green Ranger. You got him signed right there, right in the helmet. Pretty awesome sauce. I think this is going to come back. I'm hoping for a 9.8. I'm thinking it's going to get maybe a 9.6 though, and I'm fine with that. There's a chance it could get a 9.4, but I'm hoping for a 9.8. There is just one tick right here. It's a decent size one, like in terms of length, but if you looked at the book, you really couldn't tell it, but obviously the graders, they're going to know when they look at the book, and I think it'll probably get a 9.6, but again, I'm hoping for a 9.8. Next book up. There's only two books, so this is going pretty quickly. The second book up that, again, I'm sending to CGC to be graded and then the signature authenticated by JSA is another Power Rangers book. This is Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 40, the Scorpion Comics Convention exclusive, again, signed by Jason David Frank. This bad boy is a 9.8 candidate all day long. Pretty awesome sauce. I got this signed, I think like a year or two ago, along with my my boy Panda. He got some stuff signed as well. I've been thinking about submitting these to CBCS, but I'm more of a CGC fan. All of my books are CGC, and except for one, I think. And I just always like CGC more. Their labels more, their cases more, and all of that. So let's talk about the overall cost and then why I chose these books instead of some other ones. So the overall cost ended up being $115 to submit these to CGC. That includes the shipping back to me. And then obviously I'm gonna have to pay for the shipping on top. So it'll probably end up being like $125, which is around $62 a book, which is not terrible. Considering it's going to be graded and then a signature authenticated as well. So basically I'm going to add in 60 bucks on top, and obviously I already paid for the book and then the cost of the signature. I think the signature, each one of them were 50 bucks. So I'm going to be well over $100 into each one of these books. And this book, I mean, it was not a cheap book. It was not a cheap book. I'm probably going to be like $150 into this book when everything's all said and done. So, but here's why I chose those books instead of a Silver Age book, which I have a bunch of those to submit, and then some moderns as well. So CGC just announced their JSA authentication submission program. I think it's $25 to get the books authenticated. Now, obviously, I get some discount because I'm a CGC member, but I know that price is probably like their current price, and at some point it will go up. It'll probably end up being double that at some point. And I figured, you know what, I want to get those books authenticated at some point to be in my collection of my other Power Ranger books, because obviously I'm a big Power Rangers fan, and I'd rather pay the lowest price possible instead of paying a higher price later or being like, man, I should have got those graded. Because all the other books, I can get those graded at any time because they're all going to be blue label books. Hopefully they're not, purple label or anything. But for those to be signed, I felt like at some point that JSA authentication price will end up going up at some point. So I was like, you know what, let's go ahead and get that done right now. And I actually asked my family, my wife, my sister, my brother-in-law, what they thought in terms of submitting those books versus some Silver Age books and some modern books. And they all said, you know what, get those done now, and then later you can submit the other books whenever you want. That was their advice for me, and I'm gonna take their advice. I've already, like I said, I've already paid for these submissions. Are gonna go off in a mail tomorrow to CGC, and like I said, they're gonna end up being around $62 a book. I'm submitting these on June 12th. They're gonna go off in the mail June 13th, and hopefully, you know, we get them back by the end of July. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll end up getting them back in August or September. I don't know. We'll go back to this video whenever they come back. Like I said, I think this is going to be a 9.8, and this is, I think it's going to be a 9.6. So we'll see. We'll see. This may get a 9.4. It may get a 9.8. I don't know. It just depends on the grader. You know what? Maybe this will get a 9.9 with all the new 9.9s coming out. Who knows? I do think though this will probably end up being a 9.8. So. Again, I'm Steve from Burke Family 54 Comics. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about today's video. Have you guys submitted anything to CGC with their JSA authentication? All of that and more. All right, guys, thanks for watching. And as always, go Cats!
Cowabunga! It's morphin' time!